Okay. Awesome. Let's get moving
Well,
here.
today's the fourth, right?
Yeah.
That's the third. It's all good.
Oh, all right, guys, let me change it real quick.
No, no, it's all good. I'm like, oh, it's the third. Oh, yeah,
Ah,
it's the fourth. Darn it. My brother's birthdays are the third. So, well, how's everyone doing? Yeah, we're excited about today. It's going to be really, really good. This is the sales mastermind. We're going to talk all about sales and mastering everything that we're doing. So these slides are really good. You don't have to change it. We're good. So I
good.
would just recommend take some notes and that we can have some interaction at the very end. Yeah, just really mastering kind of the projects that we're working on. So Sarah, if you wanted to start, I could whatever you want to do.
Well, this is kind of your thought leadership here today on what we should talk about. So why don't you just share a little bit about the why and then we can get into the what?
Okay, cool. So all right. So in the past couple of weeks, obviously, well, you look at the summer, you looked at kind of what we've gone through in the summertime. It was kind of dismal. That's what obviously Giovanni said. But we have gone up a lot with the sales as far as booking appointments. So obviously the effectiveness of Q2 going into Q3 has been awesome. So congratulations. And then we're going into Q4 now. And I've said this before and I'll say it again on this mastermind that October is like your last chance to fully get as much out of it for the rest of the year because November we're going to be dealing with oh, the boss isn't in, it's Thanksgiving, or he's on vacation or she's on vacation, probably midway into November. Also, this is the time where whatever you do in October, they can really look at November with the T group and all these appointments that you're booking to actually make the decision. I don't know if you guys realize that because come January 1st, then it can be implemented and that gives them the 45 days. We have a lot of obviously great, huge announcements. I haven't got to, I think, only three or four of you one on one to really tell you what is going on in November. Anyone here that has some people on the fence, whatever reason that is, whether they've already in the system or you haven't booked the appointment yet because they fear any audits or anything like that, we're going to talk all about that today. So we're going to kind of dive into the philosophical stuff with the power of effective conversations, and then we're just going to. And I'll just kind of go as as we go along. I'll give you guys some of the specific announcements that after the end we're going to have a call to action. So Sarah and I's goal is for all of you to like really just 10x this, like really have that belief, like holy crap, like whether it's a follow up, whether you're the concierge that you've got to go follow up with all your people, not just putting everything on T group. So we're going to explain that, but there is a training today on really how to be more effective. And then also all of you that haven't booked a ton of appointments yet for whatever reason, again, hopefully we can instill some belief and confidence in you. We are having deals close this month, especially huge 21,000 and 4,500 finally closing. But there's a huge reason for that. They've been open for 5, 6, 7 months, but because of the connections that Bill has, our CEO, with this figurehead that's ahead of the biggest conglomerate in the nation, that's really giving not only an endorsement, but being able to tell business owners, hey, you're not going to get audited. Hey, you definitely should do this. So next month, it's a whole different energy with people. I'm sorry, not people, but businesses lining up who want to do this. So what's going to happen is it's going to put a lot more attention on really what we're doing with VASE. And I was talking with Sarah. I mean, VASE is like a million. I mean, we could sell this for like $1 million. I mean, we have everything in place. We got incredible with the TA group closing these deals. What's about to happen in November? These connections, this evolution, what you have with making money. Even with you guys might have forgot, but you have an agreement where once you do 10,000, you go from $5 to $8, and then $8 to $9, and $9 to $10, per employee. So we're going to start to really hone in and teach you all to be more of a concierge, to not just let T Group do all the work for you. Because some of the emails I've seen is some of you are like, oh, I didn't know. So we don't want you just to throw it on T Group and do nothing. So we want to teach you how to have these effective conversations, how to properly follow up. And then when it comes to Ellie as well, it's really the same thing. And one of the things that I think all of you will have this confidence is these calls that I started to do for all of you or in front of all of you.
if you can call a C-suite person or a CFO or CEO and have this conversation, it's very serious. Obviously, it's not really like a. I'm not saying it's not fun, but it's very serious. We're talking about the IRS. We're talking about the PCMP program. You got to be on your A game. So I'm telling you, even watching me do it, obviously starting again next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like once you nail that, and then even with Ellie's a joke. I mean, Ellie's talking to your girlfriend, okay, guy friend, your neighbor. So many people are still nervous about that, but it actually is a joke compared. It's like the fun party that you can make now money, and then obviously mastering the PCMP program. I mean, it's a lifetime skill to be able to communicate, to be able to get on the phone, to book an appointment, follow up professionally, using systems in place like CRMs. I mean, literally, like, I'm not saying you should do this, but you can go get it. I mean, you can use this on your resume. You can use VASE that you were a part of this and what you did on a resume. And someone like a Salesforce could potentially hire you. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what you're going through is so professional, so high level, and we are closing deals, and we'll get into like what deals we're closing and stuff like that, so that you can also feel very comfortable amongst everything. But I will say the biggest announcement is something that I really want to directly talk to you one-on-one on. But what I can say in a group, because I don't know who's listening to this, and maybe someone I don't know is listening, so I don't want to say in a group setting. But there is a huge figure that is going to endorse what we do specifically with the T group. That is the biggest figure. I mean, it's like Michael Jordan in the NBA endorsing you. There's nothing higher than this. It's not like LeBron. It's not like Scottie Pippen. It's Michael Jordan endorsing you in the NBA. Okay, that's how big this is, and that starts in less than 30 days. So again, it's going to make business owners, even if you're lost, even if your business owners are lost, we can get back to them. We're going to have a follow-up campaign for all of them as well. So we just have to really dive into the information today, understand exactly what we're sitting on, how to communicate it. We're going to talk about language today, what to use, what not to use. And again, my biggest goal, you walking away from this, is literally like kind of like if you're a man or woman, like Superwoman, Superman, like you got this now. Like you just don't care anymore. You just have that attitude, like, okay, I'm going to kill everybody. And just having that attitude, I think, makes you unstoppable. So, Sarah, I know you did a really great job. I love these slides. I've already looked at them, so we can definitely start with the first one.
All right. Do you want me to go, or how do you
Yeah,
want
to? Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I just want to, I think that we've done about, I would say, at least half of the stand and delivers. And we learned a lot from that, just about kind of where everyone is at from, let's just call it like a maturity cycle of having effective conversations and using effective language. Some of you are very, very good at effective conversations and reach outs and conversations, and some of you have opportunity for growth, right? But we want to just talk about just from the beginning of the sales cycle through kind of you being that concierge, what it means to have effective conversations and have effective language. And I want to just ask you guys a question. Did you guys notice who was on Wednesday's call, the webinar that we did? Okay. Did you guys notice that we changed a lot of the language on that call? Did you guys notice a difference in how we showed up on that call versus some of the other weeks? Okay. Why was that? Well, because Todd and I, as we're building this, are getting more and more clear on the specific and intentional language that we want to use to bring people into our program, our business, which our business is VASE, right? So there is so much power in the specific words that you use and how you garner attention when you're reaching out to people. And that's sort of what we want to talk about, is the power of language, the power of effective conversations, both in your reach outs and in your ability to liaison your clients through the deal process. Because we do not, as I mentioned, I think I sent this in a voice note to every one of you in your accountability partners groups, like we do not want to be people that build a relationship with someone, whether it was cold and we built a relationship, or it's someone we've known for years and we take them and we throw them over the fence. And I think Todd made a really good analogy the other day. That would be like if someone took me on a really fabulous date and then called me and said, hey, do you want to go out with my friend? And I never heard from him again. It'd be really weird. Be really weird, right? Like that's not who you want to be when you're building a relationship with someone, that you pass them off to your friend and you never hear from them again. That's weird. That's a weird way to build a relationship with someone. And so we just want to start with just the power of effective conversation. So there's a very big difference between copy paste, reach outs, right? And that just ask for someone's quick attention and you're not really garnering their support, versus a powerful conversation that builds trust. So of course we're saying we want 20 quality reach outs, but do you notice we said quality, right? Like we're not asking you guys to just copy paste, copy paste. People know when you're doing that. People know what's up, you know? So I do think, of course, we have talked about there's power in volume, but there's also power in making sure that when you're talking to people, you're very intentional about the language you're using. You're taking 5 minutes to look at their profile, look at who they are, remember who they are. And so that's number one. Number two is, I think the thing I noticed most in the stand-in delivers is it's very clear who's educated on our programs and who isn't learning the language of the programs. Like when there's an objection and someone can rattle off like what the TE group does, what the 1970 law is, why we're helping people, it shows that they're educated enough to be dangerous. Like we're not asking you to get certified in any of these things. But do you guys notice? So who was on the call Monday when I talked about peptides? Okay. Do you guys think that I was an expert in peptides 2 weeks ago? Because I wasn't.
No.
I went and studied it and I walked around my house for 3 hours probably before that call. And I talked to myself about peptides over and over and over and over and over again, because I wanted to sound, when I showed up for you guys, educated. At least, I mean, I know a lot about health and wellness. So I have a little, and my parents are both in the medical profession. So I have some of that language down, but I just practice and practice and practice that language. Like it's like the language that of the program. So I think for many of you, it's about listening to the TE group calls and like being a parrot, like picking up on what they're saying, listening to Todd when he does the pitches and picking up what he's saying and mimicking that language, so that you have the right effective language to have powerful conversations. So for those of you that are still struggling on what is the program, you probably need to go back and do a little more education for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And
Okay.
I could just say, you know, at the end of the day, like if I could just be direct, not to step on any toes or anything, but like I do hear, oh, I'm so nervous to talk to you, Todd and Sarah, like that's kind of bullshit. Like, and I'm not saying that in a mean way, but like
You talk to us all the time. So why would you be nervous? Like we're like it's like a family. I mean, I get it, but to be in that place, if you've been in it for like 5 months still and you're still nervous, like that just simply shows me that you don't do anything, that you're not doing anything, that you're allowing outside circumstances, even like your family stuff, to come in between your goals and your dreams and setting up a compounded residual income for your family. And that's where it needs to stop, because like John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. So if you're just still a follower and you're not really leading, there's an easy difference. So if someone's like, what's the difference between being a follower and leader? It's actually that 1%. So what is the degree to boil water? What is it, like 180 degrees or something? So like once you get 1% better, it's like that 181 degree, right? So what's the difference between leadership and follower? It's just deciding. Okay, write that in your notes. It's you have to decide. Like if I'm going on set finally after 2 years of waiting and a couple months, I can't go on set in Atlanta, Georgia on a multi-million-dollar set with Academy Award winners and then decide to be an actor. Do you guys get this? Like when I'm sharing a scene with Jamie Foxx, I can't be like, "What up, Jamie? Wow, I loved you in Living Color." In Living Color, he's gonna be like, "Get this mother effer off the set. He's fired." Because I can't be a fan. I can't be a fanboy. I can't be a follower. I'm in the same scene as him. I have to act like I'm an actor. I have to make that decision months before that happens. Now, am I nervous? Of course. Am I nervous to make calls? Of course. Am I nervous to publicly speak? Yeah, of course. But there's a difference between that nervous of like, I haven't prepared because I'm nervous, or I prepared so much, I'm still nervous. Sarah, I guarantee you were probably nervous on that webinar, the other day, because that was the first time you're talking about peptides, even though
I 100% was like, I was pacing around my apartment, literally saying stuff about peptides because I wanted you guys to be able to hear that language. And I will say, I don't get nervous anymore. I mean, I speak in front of thousands of people every week. And quite frankly, like when we get nervous, it's so selfish. No one's noticing your mess ups that much. No one cares that much about you, to be completely honest with you. And so I've just really adopted the fake it till you make it attitude, where if you show up with enough poise and energy and the right language, people are going to listen to you. You garner authority through that confidence. And it doesn't even have to be true confidence. Like you don't have to be a subject matter expert on something to show up and people listen to you. I'm not a subject matter expert on peptides, but 25 people reach out and ask me for the clip of my peptides 5-minute spiel, because came with confidence. I sounded dangerous enough to be able to have a conversation about it, but I'm no expert, but it's just the confidence and the energy that you bring behind something. And I teach this all the time at Salesforce with my team. We're doing presentation trainings all the time. And I just did one the other day called Razzle Dazzle them. Like, you got to show up and razzle dazzle people and make them feel like they're there, you know, to you have something important to say. It's really, and that's really important, the energy you bring behind things. You know, if you're cowering and I'm nervous, people automatically shut you down. They don't want to hear from you.
And what do we say? Because I know a lot of people go through this too. What about what people think of us? You know, we always bring that up of like what people think. So let's just kind of hit on that real quick, and then we'll go into the action steps for mastery, because this really will also help them. Obviously, the more training and stuff like that. But there is a difference between getting trained without actually doing it. You know, a lot of you are watching everything, and we appreciate that, and that's so good. But like an hour in the field is worth 20 hours in the classroom. Does that make sense? So if I'm on a call every single day for an hour, I'm using my CRM, and I'm also on the training, I'm unstoppable, right?
Mhm.
So how, Sarah, I mean, obviously you work for one of the biggest companies in the world. And like you said, you present almost every week to 1,000 people. I don't know if people caught that. Even today, there was a whole presentation of the slides that you did, and in front of, you know, again, all these executives. When you were kind of coming up to yourself, I know you don't care as much now, like I don't, but like, what did you have to go through, even as a woman in a male-dominated business, to really kind of get rid of that? Oh my God, what are they going to think about me? And how, you know, kind of holding you back from just crushing it and moving up the ranks as you did in that huge company. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I would say like when I really started to become the like confident executive Sarah that you see in front of you today, it was when I got placed in the financial services industry at Salesforce, and I got put in a room with all of these ex Wall Street executives that were really mean. And they would sort of, as like an initiation, sort of yell at you, and the especially the women that would like, they never got another shot. And I think the thing that like really helped me is I challenged people right away. Like, it didn't matter what my title was. It didn't matter. I just, if someone said something that I didn't think was right, I would challenge them on it. Right. I came with confidence, and the moment I did that, everyone was like, who's this chick? Right. I garnered this respect from very senior people because I'll just say this, I was never an order taker at Salesforce. Like, I always showed up I knew when to speak and when not to speak, but I never was just an order taker, right? It's like, show up, have an opinion. So if I were to translate this to this opportunity, you know, I'll give a shout out to Teresa. I don't know if she's on today, but she reached out to someone today and she said essentially like, hello, why wouldn't you do this? Are you going to like keep ignoring me? Like, what you really
I love
want
that.
cost
Go,
savings or
Teresa.
not?
Good
Yeah.
job.
And I was like, that's brilliant, because she's showing up with something that's of
Yeah.
value and she's challenging the client. You know, she's
Yeah.
challenging her lead. And I think that's so important. Confidence and having the ability, when someone gives you an objection, object them back, right? Like, turn the
Yeah.
stage back on them.
I agree. And even for me, like I've gotten kind of a reputation, you know, for years. I mean, I've had to do network marketing. I was a millionaire club member in 3 different companies, and that's not hard. Network marketing is the hardest business out there, in my opinion. And I've always been direct. I'm a New Yorker, born and
Oh, are
raised since I was
you?
eight. Yeah, so I was 18 years old. So I don't want to not be nice to people, but I am direct because look, at the end of the day, like it's do or die on some of this stuff. And I know as long as I can have the passion and alignment, like, okay, what we're doing is actually really awesome. I don't know if you guys really think about this. Like, I don't know if you want to take a step back one day and be like, wait a minute, why am I here? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so the PCMP program and everything that we're doing, the 4 conglomerates of the T group, it's really pretty cutting edge, unbelievable. We really are adding value. It's not a scam. It's not something we're doing bad. In fact, once you guys hear the big announcement, again, you're going to go like, oh my God, F this. Okay. And you're going to have more of my confidence, more of the directness, because honestly, a lot of you need more of that. And I think there's, you know, what is the saying that the nice guy finishes last? It's kind of true sometimes. Like if you're too nice, too timid in the business world, they're going to eat you for lunch. So what business owners need and want are confident, direct. Here's the deal. You're never going to find anything like this. It is your lucky day that I'm calling you. And my passion is to help people like you because I respect you so much, because this country was built on people like you. And that's why I need just 1 minute of your time, because I'm going to change your life today. Because I'm going to save you every quarter on tons of taxes. We're going to get money back.
We're going to help your employees want to stay with you and not think about going somewhere else. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. All right, here's the deal. So it's just that confidence that you have that people are like, who is this guy? And I'm listening. And they're going to be like, hey, I'm on the call. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And that's what I've learned over the years. And that's what I want to instill in some of you. But this kind of passive aggressive or just passive in general of I'm just going to email people and pray and I'm a Christian, so God has my back. No, listen, do that, but do it more effectively. And that's what we really want to do is have you guys do it more effectively, even in your reach outs, referrals, even when it comes to Ellie. Like, again, just like the conversation that we had on Wednesday night in our webinar, like, I just don't know anything better out there that someone can come in, have 2 projects, 4 cash flows in one, multiple cash flows in the other one with Ellie, and they're just second to none. I mean, they really are second to none. And again, once you guys hear the announcement for next month, it really will make it the greatest single opportunity for business owners in America. It really will. And because we have the #1 person that we can ever want behind this whole project and actually working for the company. So that's what's so exciting.
All right. So we don't want to belabor this too much, but this is just a reminder, like if you want to be a master effective communicator, that we have everything set up for you to do so. Like I really, guys, I just plug in, right? Like attend the trainings. Like if you want to go in all in on TE group, if you want to go all in on Ellie, if you're doing both, if you referrals for VASE, like everything is there for you guys to have what you need to be powerful. So attend this trainings, listen to the messaging, write down powerful language. I think this is actually, and we're going to talk about the powerful language here on the next slide. I think it's the next slide. Actual language you can use. But if you guys don't have a little notebook, maybe a page for TE, a page for VASE, a page for Ellie, and just write down the words that you hear that are powerful, because and learn from each other. I mean, when Brandon did his pitch, I learned 3 or 4 new phrases that I definitely would incorporate into my pitches. So just for an example, so write down powerful language so that you can reference it and have compelling conversations and objections. Spend time just building your knowledge every week. So that goes for both the TE group and the LEMD opportunity. For those of you who are kind of also going all in on that, like yesterday's call with the doctor was amazing. I was soaking up every word she was saying, right? This woman was a naturopathic doctor, and everything she said, I was like, I'm going to repeat that when people are talking to me. But don't be the person that sits in the library all day and doesn't go actually sell. You will never make any money that way. So keep your knowledge, maybe do an hour a week of, I'm just going to read through articles, or I'm going to listen to a podcast, or whatever it is that has to do with this stuff. But don't be the person that's just every single night learning and not actually actioning things, or you'll never make money. And lastly, I think this is huge. Testimonies. And that goes for every opportunity we have, right? From if you're trying to refer someone to VASE, talk about the meetings we're booking. If you're trying to, talk to a TE, to a client, potential client for TE group, talk about the industries where we're closing deals, things that have actually happened. In LEMD, show people the weight loss pictures, like show stories. Like the customer testimonies are huge. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but we added testimonies to our Wednesday night webinar because we recognized that was a gap in our messaging, is that we weren't talking about the success that you guys are having.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just looking at right here. I got, these are the ones that are pending to be closed for the T group: 43 employees, 39 employees, 50 employees, 77, 200, 8,300, 450. Rhodey Fisher, I just found out this today, my fault. She booked 2,000 employees recently, Rhodey, so congratulations. Samantha, we have file and process for 228, another one for 300. We got another one for 100. But let's see here. Gathering docs, we have a lot of those. 36, 200, 76, 110, 170, 310. We have some research and development. In fact, Karen might have the first close. Karen Goin for one of the real estate ones, so the cost fixation one. So that's good. And again, she didn't even pitch that, but that went through. I showed you guys the screenshot. We have a 1,390, 20, 35, 18, 80, 400. Stephen Grizzett just booked that one. We have a 50,000 one. We have a 63,000, 30,000, 21,000, 4,500, 2,000. A lot of 2 to 5,000, 2550. So those are just on the active, right? And then we have some lost, but we're gonna kind of talk about revitalizing those too. And having the whole system on that. But
there's a lot of testimonials. The thing about the T group, though, it takes a while for these companies, but a lot of them are going to go through by November, starting now. And the T group is already talking about kind of the secret, until we haven't announced it because it's not official. But when it is official, it will be like a major nationwide announcement. So a lot of business owners will really hear this. But what we want to show you is how to really kind of leverage this information now, even with your lost groups, and really how to follow up and get them back on the hopper, and not just think T Group has that, because they're a small firm with hundreds and hundreds of contacts. So they might not have the same relationship, obviously, that you do with some of these that have been lost that we can revitalize.
Yeah. And I just want to make it really clear. He wasn't just saying numbers of meetings we booked. Those were numbers of of deals that are in the last stages of the sales cycle. He wasn't just rambling off everything that we've ever booked. Like that's stuff that's
I'm not smart enough to do that. I can't do those numbers unless I look at them. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the language and why it matters. I'm not going to, again, belabor this. I actually want to give you guys some good language. Then we're going to talk about kind of two like process flows. I'm using a lot of corporate language today. So sorry, guys, process flows on both reach outs and follow-ups. Okay, but let's just talk a little bit more about language. I think that the power of words is, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually went to college for writing. It's actually like my niche is I love words. I love communication. I probably over communicate. I definitely over text. But words are so powerful. And when you say the wrong words, it's really powerful. And when you say the right words, it's really powerful. And it's even in the Bible. It says, the power of life and death is in our words. And so I think that's so important. So the words that you choose set the tone, it creates curiosity, it builds credibility, it shapes your whole message. And sometimes you only get one shot with the words that you're saying. They either build trust or lose trust when you say words. And again, this goes across business, relationships, everything. So your clear and confident language will build trust with people. When you sound like you know what you're talking about, it will tell your prospect that what you're offering, you believe in it and you believe in its value and you have passion behind it. That's really important. It will create impact. It will help you handle objections more smoothly. And quite frankly, it will just help you connect with people on a personal level. So we're going to actually show you guys some language, and feel free to jump in if you also have some language that works really well. But Todd, do you have anything else to add on this slide, or do you just want to jump into the actual language?
Yeah. I love the next slide. The next slide is badass. Okay, the next slide you want to screenshot. Before we do that and unveil some of these keywords, I learned from my mentor a long time ago. He wrote a book called The Language of Achievement. I wish I had it on me. It's actually in my other room. But his name is David Bird, and I hired him for about 16 years as my personal success coach. And he would actually define some of the key words here that we're about to show you. And it does matter. Like as a leader, it matters what you say, your communication, your vocabulary. And as we look at the stand-in review calls, I mean, obviously some of you have, we took notes, there's some specific words that I love. But then also we got to stay away from words like opportunity. I think you need to, and we can even think of like words that I don't like, but MLM, you got to get rid of that one. MLM. Network marketing, get rid of it. When we look at Ellie, that's just, you have to kind of look at Ellie as kind of what we do with the T group. Ellie is 9 levels deep or more. You get paid as affiliate marketer, and the T group is 2 levels deep. It's really that simple. The way that you have to package this, and that's why I love going to the VASE webinar as number 1. So just so you know, my language to my warm market is going to be the language of, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm into these projects. We're looking for affiliates that can become successful in all of them, or maybe 1 out of 2. I don't know which one is going to be best for you, but watch this first. This is my business partner, and I edify Sarah, and I also kind of edify me a little bit. Like we're absolutely doing something that no one else is doing. Watch this first, and if you think you qualify to work with us, then let's set up a call. So I'm using VASE first because I don't know. They might know business owners. They might love I call it the direct sales space. It's okay to say direct sales, but you got to stay away from the MLM thing. And, you got to separate yourself too. So when you use different words, you actually elevate yourself from the masses. And, eagles fly and they soar above the fray, right?
So you don't want to quack like ducks, quack, 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 and everyone's doing kind of what that is on Facebook. Oh, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. And we've already separated ourselves, even in the peptide world, because we're not consuming this from like a drink. You're actually right to your skin. It's an injection, NAD, all this stuff. It's different than just drinking something and it's being digested in the stomach. So there's so many differentiation or different things here that we can offer, but you just have to kind of put it in this package. And that's why the Wednesday night webinar for me is my go-to to obviously bring in more VASE clients, because once I have a client, I can work with them for 6 months. I can plug them in. I can get to know them. I can get their why. If I'm just signing up a brand partner, I mean, yeah, I mean, they probably 80% of them are not going to do anything. 90%, maybe 95%, they're not going to do anything because they're going to be, yeah, well, I changed my mind, a week later. And that's just that space, right? And that's okay. But if that's all they can do, great. You never know. But if we can get them in that whole time, I mean, I'm telling you, we can teach them moments, because this is what matters the most. So let's just go to the next slide. So yeah, we have all three compartments of T group, VASE, and Ellie. And let's kind of look at this and
Okay. Yeah.
there we go. That's that. It's hard to see, but maybe you can just take a screenshot and whatever you guys got to do to really read, because this is powerful stuff.
Yeah. So compartmentalize for a second. We're just going to start with the TE group. I'm just going to share some phrases, and then if anyone else has some phrases that they see work really well, please share, and we'll write them down. And actually, we'll share out some language. We'll call it the language of achievement for our opportunities. But here's just some powerful phrases that you can use. So maximize your tax savings with exclusive government-backed programs. And soon we're going to have, again, some even more. I know we're like the biggest teasers on planet Earth. I know we're going to have some even more backing on some of this stuff that's going to really, really help you guys with that powerful language. We are your strategic partner for cost reduction and revenue growth, right? So strategic, exclusive, unlock tax credits and incentives with our proven expertise, right? So again, you're like edifying the TE group, you're that liaison. We help simplify compliance while boosting efficiency. Accelerate your business growth. Everyone wants to accelerate business growth by tapping into untapped financial opportunities, bridge the gap between your business and untapped government savings, tailor your tax strategies to enhance your bottom line. So these, again, they're kind of like a little cheesy, but these are just words, right? Words, powerful words that you can use. Does anyone have any other powerful phrases that have really worked well for them with a TE group that they'd want to share? Whether it's in an email, a text, a phone call, a conversation, or you've even heard it on one of the sales presentations. Nobody?
People are leaving. You've offended them.
What about recruitment, retention, and revenue?
Perfect. Yep. That's really
absolutely.
One that I really loved when Brandon did his pitch was he did some back of the napkin math and shared what it would cost for a year and then 10 years, which I thought was really powerful. And he kind of paused and said, let me do the math right here real quick. And that was really powerful.
Yep.
Okay. The other thing I'll say.
Hey, Sarah.
Yes, go ahead.
I've used just instead of just throwing revenue out there, I'd say recapture revenue, because it's not like they're generating more. The revenue's already there. You're just recapturing it.
Very good. Perfect.
Yeah, very good. Love that.
I also love, when you're sharing your role. I think we shared this on the Wednesday night webinar. I actually kind of put did you guys see the slide where I had like the two opportunities and almost looked like job profiles? You guys remember that slide? But I called it a business, I think I called it an elite business development liaison. And I think that what's really powerful about that is if you use, if you're trying to explain who you are in relation to the TE group, again, I keep going back to this, you're a concierge or you're a liaison or you're not just an appointment setter. And I want to get away from that thought, because you guys are not receptionists. You're all much more powerful than someone who sits at a desk and answers phones. You're not Pam, right, from the office. You're actually a liaison. You're building relationships with people. You're reaching out to them. You're learning their business, and you're passionate about helping them save money. Many of you are reaching out to people you've known for 10 years, or you're sitting down with the superintendent in your school district that you go to, or it's a family, or it is cold, but even then you have to use your backing, your expertise and your background to get people to respond to you, right? I mean, there's a reason why the majority of people on this call are seasoned veterans in their industries. Like, you know, we do see a lot of 20-year-olds on this call. I mean, I'd love to bring in some young people, but we have seasoned vets here who have so much experience. So that's what using these types of words is so important, because you are, again, you're more than an appointment setter. You are the concierge or liaison to the TE group who is going to help save them hundreds of thousands of dollars, if or less or more. So I think it's just important to remember that as well in your own language, describing your role to TE group.
Sure.
Okay. So VASE, we're gonna just get on you guys a lot more about referrals and just really, you know, share your experience here. I mean, I feel like, I don't know why you wouldn't. I've been in a lot of these masterminds, and I just think there's so much value here, especially when these TE group deals start closing, and Ellie, like, you guys are just, you're going to be shouting it from the rooftops. We're gonna have to turn people away, but I do want you guys to be talking about it. I think if you're not talking about it, I'm not sure why you're here, because why show up multiple days a week and be on Slack and talking to us if you're not excited about the program? So just some words of empowerment on when you share your experience with VASE. I want, if you guys didn't watch Wednesday, please watch it again, because again, we were very intentional with our language. But Todd, why don't you walk through some of these keywords for VASE?
Well, yeah, if you don't mind, if I can just position this kind of what's in it for you. So let me just talk about you personally, because sometimes when you hear, hey, can you guys refer, you might think of like, oh, okay, they need us to refer because they need more clients, and Todd and Sarah need money. Okay, so that's not it at all. So let me kind of put myself in your shoes. If you look at all three of these, like I am right now,
So the T group obviously is the long-term play, right? You have monthly residuals, yearly residuals, et cetera. So that is a long-term play. The VASE program, what we're doing now is we're offering $1,000. Now, $1,000 is pretty cool if it was $20,000, but it's only $5,000 for 6 months to join. So watch this real quick. So $1,000 is right now. So let's say someone signs up today, they talk with me. By the way, I have like a 90% close ratio. The challenge is I'm not getting enough intake calls. So if I'm getting a qualified person from you that really saw the webinar, they love what we're doing, they get on the phone with me and Sarah, we'll close them 9 out of 10 times. I'm not even exaggerating in those numbers, by the way. I mean, why wouldn't I? Because I created it with Sarah. Does that make sense? I mean, I know how to talk to them. But what's in it for you is once the money hits through Stripe, we're giving you right back $1,000. Now, what if you just referred 3 people a month, 5 people a month? That's $3,000 to $5,000 now. So that takes care of your mortgage or whatever you want. But here's the most important part. That person is going to be obviously underneath you forever, but they're going to be underneath you for the next 6 months. So then we can now work with them, with you, on where we're going to put them. If is it going to be Ellie? Is it going to be the T group? Is it both? And then here's what I haven't even done the math on this. So you have a VASE client underneath you. They do both. They're doing Ellie. They're building downline with you. They know business owners. So now you're getting residual income on an override, and then you're getting overrides with Ellie. You're rank advancing with. I mean, it's just, and that's now money. How many of you guys got paid yesterday? Like I did. You started to get paid already off your customers. Well, on the 15th of October, which is what, a week and a half from now, a lot of you are going to make bigger money than that. You're going to make your bonuses. You're going to make the passive income that you got from last month. So now a lot of you are starting to get paid now money. But VASE is what do you have to do in Ellie to make $1,000? A lot. You would have to do a lot to make $1,000, especially starting off brand new. All you got to do with VASE to really build your affiliate team. So that doesn't cover what you personally do when you're booking business appointments, but to build that affiliate team. Again, if you draw a circle with you have 5 circles underneath you. 4 of 5 are going to be T group. So let me give an example. R&D program, right? So Karen, let's say I recruit Karen. Karen brings on a company that saved $500,000 this year with the R&D program. Okay, follow me real quick on the numbers. So TE group is going to make $100,000. Okay, that's going to be 20% of the 500 because they did all the work. Karen is going to make 10%. So that's $10,000 per year guaranteed for 3 years in a row. Okay, this is the research and development program. So that's $10,000 for the year. Okay, now I made $5,000 for the year. and for the next 3 years. So I just closed $15,000, which is 3 times more than what I put into VASE of 5,000. So I got all my money back plus another 10 grand because I just simply referred someone that got started with VASE. Now that's not even counting the PCMP program. And then let's say also Karen, like she's moving up the ranks with Ellie. She's on the calls with the doctors last night. She's blown away. She's getting on track with her health. She's loving it. And she goes director in the next 5 months. Well, I just made thousands more dollars in overrides. Why did I do that? Because I was able to get Karen into VASE. Does that make sense, everybody? So some of the key words are empowering your journey to financial independence and entrepreneurial success. Our experts bring you top sales opportunities from across the country, which we have, obviously. Build residual income that grows over time, creating wealth beyond your active work. Establishing a financial legacy for yourself and future generations, which is all true. Equip yourself with the knowledge to not just succeed, but thrive in sales. Make every action count towards long-term financial peace and success. Your path to growth, wealth, and limitless potential starts here. Now, also to mention on the personal side, hopefully you guys are getting some personal development. You're getting some of the, getting mentally stronger for the you versus you battles that we face. Also just getting mentally strong on getting yourself out of your comfort zone and also getting healthier with Ellie and feeling better and looking better. And then also having a better routine, a better calendar, feeling, not so lazy. Maybe you dealt with procrastination in the past so much and it's been really haunting you for years. But all of a sudden, you're not procrastinating anymore. You're cleaning your room. You're more organized. You're doing things that even your husband or wife is like, how are you doing that? That's pretty cool. Thank you. For years, you wouldn't make your bed. Or for years, you wouldn't put the dishes away. For years, you complained about doing the laundry. But all of a sudden, you just took more action. I mean, your marriages are better. Your relationships are better. See, this is a $5,000 6-month program that covers all of it that we should be charging $30,000 to $50,000 a year for. So the reason we didn't want to charge that is because we want to help you because all of us went on the back end. Does that make sense? There's not a coaching program out there. I mean, they'll teach you well. I mean, I know all the coaches out there on Instagram. It's like 7,500, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. And the whole thing is they'll teach you concepts. They'll teach you philosophies, but they're literally not going to make calls for you to make you money. And that's the difference between VASE. And all those there's nothing wrong with those coaching companies at all. It's just, I just know that those coaches get rich off the 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. That's where they're making the majority of their money, especially even in the MLM coaching. I know a lot of people that failed at MLM and now they're coaching people on MLM. Okay. Or they've done a little bit of success, but now they're making all their money on coaching. We're not making all of our money on coaching. We're making some of it so that we have a vested interest in you and then vice versa. So hopefully that makes sense because it's such a different flip of the switch for you. You're like, wait a minute. Okay. If all I did was refer someone to the webinar and then they watch it, they get it. And then I put on a 3-way chat with Sarah and Todd, and then they kind of like the T group, they can walk them through everything while I'm just on mute. And then now I got a brand partner for Ellie. I got a affiliate for the T group. They're not going to quit for 6 months. Happy day. And that's not even covering. Now you have override income and residual income on top of you just making calls yourself. Does that make sense, everybody? So I'm mind blown. Hopefully you are, because we have created something very special here and very affordable. We even have payment plans if someone needs them. So just let us know how we can serve you in that regard. And I'll have you do the LE part, if you don't mind, sir.
Yeah. So I know that not everyone is going all in on Ellie, and that's totally fine. But I do think it's a really awesome opportunity. It doesn't require, in my opinion, the same level of engagement, reach outs, follow-ups. Like for me, I think you guys should all, if you're not already, follow me on social media and see what I'm doing. I set up a Beacon store today. You guys can look at what I'm doing, but just kind of follow my lead there because once I get that kind of set up, I think it's going to be more of a natural thing happening. But regardless, the language that you use in conversations for that is also really important, especially bringing on brand partners and of course just selling the product. But you guys heard me talk about peptides, but anything you can do to just honestly get educated on holistic health is also going to just be really awesome for your future as well. But a few things: wellness refined or redefined. Sorry, I think a lot of like future language with LEMD. Proactive care meets the latest in telehealth. transform your health with natural holistic solutions designed for preventative care, personalized wellness wherever you are. It's accessible, it's convenient, it's innovative. Holistic health that addresses root causes, not just symptoms. The doctor talked a lot about that last night. I love that. That's so cool. And if any of you guys want advice on some of that, you know, I love to geek out on it. Cutting edge medical science combined with natural wellness for optimal health, your preventative pathway to wellness and lasting long vitality. So again, just take a screenshot of this. I'll send this in the Slack channel too. But just constantly be looking at the right words and saying the right words out loud. And I think your language really matters when you're having conversations with people. All of this is very strong language. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on now to what I was calling process flows earlier, one around reach outs and one around follow-ups. So we want to start with structuring a winning message when you're reaching out to people. Many of you are very good at this. Many of you need some work, okay? So this is how you should structure a winning message. And it goes like this. Do you see the arrows around? Okay. There's 6 points here. Number 1, start with a hook, right? Something that grabs their attention. Hey, I noticed your company just had massive layoffs. The hook. Hey, I noticed your company is growing in XYZ industry, or I noticed your COO just got promoted to CFO, or whatever that hook is. You want to create something that grabs their attention, hooks them, right? Does that make sense? Number 2, and Todd, then I'll let you kind of give some more examples of this. You want to give them a pain point that you're going to address. So this is a challenge that you're addressing, right? So I imagine you're always looking for ways to solve XYZ challenge, or let's use the layoff example. Notice your company just had a lot of layoffs. And wouldn't it be great if you could bring some revenue back into the company so you could improve employee retention? Because I'm sure culture is semi-shot right now, right? Like hook, pain point. Then you're going to hit them with your value prop. You're just going to highlight the value that you bring to the table. What makes your solution unique and impactful? Well, guess what? We help companies like yours save money. Ooh, that's great. Then you're going to want to provide them with the benefit statement, like directly how you could benefit them. Then maybe this is the back of the math statement. You know, we help them save money by XYZ, and you specifically, we can help with this, which could drive this. Then you want to give them some social proof. This is that testimony, the example. It's why you're credible. This could be either, you know, we're backed by the thing we can't tell you, or we are we are backed by XYZ.
Well, we have the attorney letter too, though. We can also, you know, Greenwich and Torrey and all that stuff that they get. Yep.
Or article that you could, you know, pull out a couple phrases from, you know, in Business Insider, it says da 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 da, or Rivian car company is using us for blah, 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 or a major automotive company. Maybe you're not saying Rivian, but this is where you want to give social proof. Same with Ellie, same with VASE, right? Like Brandon, you're talking to someone like, I booked an appointment for XYZ amount of money, and that would make me XYZ richer. It's going to change my life. Or in Ellie, you know, our CEO, did you guys see those pictures? Our CEO is a completely different looking human being than she was.
I know. I can't
believe
it. Yeah.
100 pounds. Like these are the social proof things that you need. I think without the social proof, I think this is actually where we've lost our edge sometimes, is we don't share the social proof. And if you need more social proof from the TE group, we can reach out to them and say, what are some phrases we can use if you guys want some of that too. And then
can you also talk about the social proof with me and you? I know it's kind of awkward to talk about ourselves in front of everyone, but social, when you're introducing people to Sarah and I have a ton of social proof. I'm a best-selling author. I'm an executive producer of a major movie. I'm starring in a movie with Jamie Foxx and Tyrese Gibson and John Travolta's daughter. It's called 9 Stories High. Adam Morris is director. He just won an award for the Super Bowl commercial with Pixel, Google. Like you can tell people, like he's in movies. He's an executive producer. Millionaire Club member 3 times. Sarah, 7-figure earner. Salesforce, top leader. So I don't know people. So I guess we call that edification, right, Sarah? So I mean, I think that's so important too, just to like, why people are always thinking, okay, why do I want to spend 15 minutes talking to someone, right? And how important that is. And I used to do this a lot when I sold Amazon stores. It's always like when I edified someone else, I always did like a 3-way chat and Instagram, you know, because a lot of my business owners had millions of followers on social media. And honestly, that was probably 50% of the reason why they actually bought an Amazon.
So just because of the social proof, any thoughts about that? Just even when people are introducing us, it's the same thing with Ellie, because you're going to introduce us for three-way calls. You're going to introduce us for, VASE, whatever like that. So I think that's important.
Yeah, I think anytime that you can provide either social proof or edification of either the product, the company, or the leadership that you're promoting, that's really important, right? And so in the TE group, like we said, it's, if you can talk about that law letter, talk about times you've seen them written in articles, talk about testimonials of customers. In any time you guys feel like, I don't know what to do with this lead or this conversation, we will talk to anyone on planet Earth for you. Like, you just introduce us. And again, why should we talk to them, right? So it's so important to edify everything about what you're selling. And even the products, right? Like, for all the things that we're doing, whether it's the system of VASE, it's the TE group's cost saving programs, or it's the products of Ellie, there are words and motions. Like I say, you got to get with Ellie, you got to get clear on things like efficacy of the formulas. Like these are words that people are like, oh, or so absolutely social proof, stories, edification are huge in people. I think out of all of this, that's the number one thing is real life edification and stories.
Yeah.
And
I got to tell you too, the edification, first of all, they're going to pay attention. So like if you edified me so well, and again, I know it's kind of awkward to kind of help. Hey, could you really speak kindly of me? But at the end of the day, here's what's going to happen. So they're going to take my call. They're not going to miss it. And then guess what I do? I get to edify you. So like I'm telling to them how great you are, how great of a client you are, how much you're killing it in the marketplace. Like they're going to now look at you differently. So again, we learned this in network marketing all these years. That's what the three-way call is, the power of third party. But honestly, that's just like anything in life. It's not just the direct sales space or this space, every space. People don't want to talk to people that are average. They want to always talk to celebrities or people that are high up there or successful or are big on social media. Like people do like that. And they're just intrigued. And if we can build more curiosity through the edification, which is well deserved both through Sarah and me and all of our years of our experience and the success we've had in our past, I think that maybe that's the missing thing. Maybe just need to edify, because I have gotten on calls and I got to tell you, sometimes I'm like rolling my eyes at some of you because the person doesn't know what we're talking about. They don't even know what VASE is. And I'm taking 30 minutes out of my day and I'm like, I'm being pitched. Like they're pitching me on their deal. I'm like, wait, what? Like, and of course I'm always nice to them, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm not interested. Thank you. So it's just like, I'm all in ready to go for maybe a baseball, but they have no idea what it is. But I thought you booked it for VASE. Is that like, or they don't really know who I am. And they're like, yeah, they just told me to call you. And what's your name again? Tom? No, my name's Todd. Oh, Todd, what? Where are you from, Todd? I'm like, okay. So it's just, it doesn't give me any power. And now I just feel like a salesperson and I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah. And then I think this is pretty clear, but last thing you always have to do in a winning message is give them a clear call to action. Actually, sometimes it's good to do this at the front and the bottom, right? So they know exactly why you're reaching out. So anyways, I will send this out as well, but I think getting really good in your reach outs on doing all 6 of these is really, really important. And taking the time to make it personalized, like I said at the beginning, with the language that matters. It should not be a copy paste exercise, right? It should be looking at their company, what are they going through, what is the person that will change your hook and your pain point in your story, right? Every single time. Maybe there's some similarities there, but you're going to change how you speak to people based on their role, based on their industry. Okay, so I think that makes sense. Now we're going to talk about follow-ups. So Todd and I had a conversation today with one of our other business partners, and I think what I got out of the conversation was that, so I'm always being really pushy about understanding where all the deals are in the deal cycle. And I want like more data from the TE group and like, just bringing some of my CRM expertise to them, right? And I think what I got out of the call was that we have in the last couple months really focused on making sure you guys are booking quality meetings, because that was a pain point for us in the past, right? We have seen a massive increase in quality meetings since that happened. Would you guys all agree? You feel like you're submitting more quality leads, you're having better conversations. Great. So we feel like we've elevated the team. But now what we're seeing is a lot of like pass over the fence and that you guys aren't involved. And I will say, we didn't fully empower you guys to be involved in these deal cycles all the way through. So part of this probably is our own education to you guys as well. But we are now saying, and we want you guys to think like you are a concierge to these clients. And it is so important that you stick by the client or the relationship you've built through the whole deal cycle, that you are not selling to them. You are not selling to them. You are their concierge. So when you go to a hotel, you guys ever use concierge services at hotels? I do, because I like 5-star resorts. Okay. When you go and sit down with the concierge, they ask you all these questions. What are you into? What's your vibe? What do you like? And they're going to be like, oh, there's a spa around the corner. There's a restaurant here that, oh, you love 5-star steakhouses. Like it just, you know, right. They are there to look at who you are and tell you where you should go. And then they'll come back. How was your time there? Oh, did you like that spa we recommended? That's how you guys should act. You're their concierge, right? So what does that look like? That means that after you set the first appointment, you are making sure they show up, right? Hey, Bob, your appointment's next week. We're so excited to save you money. Just want to make sure that you remember the date and time. Hey, Bob, your appointment's later today. Can't wait for you to meet the TE group. Getting on the call. Why not sit back and listen and take notes and observe and be there? I think it's weird if you're not on that first call. You're the one that they know, right? So I think, you know, then afterwards, how did it go? Follow up. Hey, what'd you think of the meeting? Right? Sometimes they won't tell the TE group exactly what they thought, but they'll tell you. You're their concierge. You're the one they have the relationship with. You're going to get the inside tea, the inside scoop. So ask really open-ended questions. Again, you're not selling them. You're their concierge. Gauge their experience. See if they had any concerns. Maybe there's feedback you need to give to the TE group so that they can pitch better. Just be that concierge, right? Thirdly, do you guys all know how to get into your portal? Are you monitoring the deal? I don't know. If I sent in a 21,000 person deal, I would be on that freaking thing every single day, seeing what's happening and what the TE group is saying to my client. I would be all over that. And we're going to do a better job of doing that for you too. But it's your deal. You sent it in, right?
Yep.
So monitor the progress, stay on top of updates. If something's stalling, slowing down, you're like, gosh, the TE group hasn't reached out in 30 days. Ping Geo. Hey, can I reach out to them again and get them re-engaged? That's your job. You're the concierge.
For sure.
Okay. Lastly, and I'm just going to say it again, you are the concierge to the whole deal. Your job is to guide them through the entire process, provide support, ask questions, ensure that they have a smooth experience with T group. You don't have to answer every question. Let's say they say an objection to you and you're like, I totally get it. Let me connect you with XYZ person so we can make sure we smooth that out or we handle that objection. Like that is your job through the whole process. And I want you guys to feel empowered. You're not Pam from The Office. You're not just like writing notes for Michael Scott and, you know, picking up the phone. You are their concierge. You are an important part of the deal cycle. And you're the one that they have the relationship with. Whether it was a cold relationship or not, you were the first person that they met. You were the face that they remember. And so if you haven't already, get into your back portal and start monitoring those deals. And then Todd, I'll let you speak because I'm talking a lot here. But the other thing we're going to do, and we do this a lot at Salesforce, but they're called revive dead campaigns. Okay. So sometimes people have an objection and the deal will be lost and we just forget about them forever. But with some of this news that's coming out, it might be an opportunity for the people that had objections to re-engage. So we will work with all of you when this time comes to also go back in and try to revive some of the closed lost deals that we had as well.
And that time is actually right now. So don't wait on that. So if you have a lost deal, please reach out to me and Sarah on a 3-way text. Let us know the deal that you lost and let us know why it was lost. And then what we'll do is we'll tell you kind of what's going, the inside information, and then we'll kind of help you leverage it when you reach out to them again, if that makes sense. So you don't have to wait till next month for that. We can also leverage some of the new clients that we have closed, like Nordstrom's, not Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus and Macy's and Juicy Couture and all. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're almost done here, guys. So we can think of one or two last referrals or call to action, right?
Yeah. So what we would like for you guys to do, I'm just going to make another quick announcement. We put you into these accountability partner groups, like they're not meant for you guys to just become best friends. Like we actually wanted you guys to hold each other accountable. Like I'm glad you guys are becoming friends, but the idea was that you would get on calls together, you'd strategize together, you'd work with each other, you'd share each other, your goals with each other. Like everyone, we wanted you guys to have someone that you could confide in to hold you accountable. If you know, don't feel comfortable having the whole group holding you accountable, right? It actually creates an accountability system. Todd and I do it for each other, right? So we're hoping that you guys, and we paired you very intentionally with someone we think that would be a good match for you to work with. So this next week, I would like all of you to book a 1-hour meeting with your accountability partner and work on refining your language together. Talk back and forth about the language you're going to use for the opportunities and start refining that pitch together. It's a perfect opportunity in a trusted place, not as scary as Todd and I, but just to share and refine your pitches. And that should become a drumbeat or practice for you guys, where you're just reaching out to this person, jumping on a call, doing a strategy session. That we don't want to be the only ones you're learning from. You guys are boots on the street, right? So we want you guys to learn from each other.
Yeah, and that looks like this, you know, ring, ring. Let me just do a 30-second, what that looks like. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, I know you're my accountability partner, and I was told by my coaches that I have to do this, so let's do this. So, all right, here I go. Hey, Sarah, my name is, and then I get right into it. Does that make sense? So like I'm literally, and I have it ready to go. I can use what you guys just saw, you know, take a screenshot or whatever. Or this, obviously we're going to have this on replay, but I'm like, hey, Sarah, you know, and you get right into your pitch, and then she kind of coaches you, like, or she'll coach me. Hey, that was good. I like that. Hey, I would do this. And then I'm like, all right, thank you so much. And now she goes. And then you just talk about it. You're not getting on the phone like, hey, I mean, I guess Sarah and Todd told us to do this, so here we go. How was your day? Oh, and then you're just talking about your children. Like that's not what this is. Okay, I just want to make that sure that you guys kind of can see the vision of that. And then you're refining your pitch and mastering your language. And then also even with anything else too, like how to refer. Like it says here, send us 3 to 5 base referrals. Like our goal, like I think this would be a stellar month if every single one of you got at least 5 booked appointments this month. Now, don't let your minimums be your maximums. Now, I know some of you could do a lot more than that, but there's also some of you that never done more than 2 in a month. So I think at the average, we did 5 or more booked appointments this month in October. And then also you all closed 1 VASE client. I think you guys are going to see such a, like we doubled the amount of people. We now can aggressively talk about our live event. We now can hire social media people to actually watch us on stage. The whole thing, like VASE can go public, like really go viral. By that time, in the next month or 2, deals will be closed. Proof is in the pudding. And then all these other rank advancements are going to be had. And Ellie, I'm telling you, like we're right on the cusp before the end of the new year, going into the new year, and we'd love to have it. So like, again, if all of us collectively came together and not just said, all right, well, Todd's going to go do all the close. He's going to, because I think I referred most of the people here with Sarah, but like no one else. So like, if we can all come together and be like, okay, I got one. I'm going to, that's 25 more clients. That's 50 total. And then those people are going to be underneath you, booking appointments, doing the do, but they're also walking into an opportunity where every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they're going to hear me make the calls for them. And you're also getting so good at that point. Like we're just going to become unstoppable. And we have to have that vision. This is a massive vision. Just think about 2025. I mean, I already can sense my 2025 is going to be extraordinary. I mean, right in the beginning of the year, I'm shooting a movie. I'm so excited about that. I've waited 2 years of my life for that. All these deals are going to start to close. 2025 is going to look a lot different than 2024. But on a realistic, organic look, you can't just start making $100,000 a month your first 6 months or your first year. But many here, if you stick and stay, are going to be on the path to 6 figures a month, not just 6 figures a year in a lot of these deals. Okay. And that's the truth. And that's exactly what's going to happen, whether it's 6 figures a year, 6 figures a month, 7 figures a year. For a lot of you, we are on that path to grow this exponentially, to scale it bigger than ever, because we have systems in place to do this. And on just a side note, I was on the Zoom last night with Ellie and D, because you remember how we said Monday night is the Ellie day, and then Thursday night is Ellie day, because that's kind of like the system. Like I'm on that, like I literally I was on that call, and then I got in my car and said, I'm going to Sprouts.
because I'm getting more protein intake. I'm getting more coconut water, more hydration. I mean, I'm literally like, okay, I need this because I did the trizepatide. And I need to learn, like, you can't just take trizepatide. I'm like, I've never done it. I'm going to take it. Okay, cool. What if you take it wrong? Like I did, I kind of overdosed and didn't have a very good experience because I did way much than I should have. But I learned a lot. I feel better now. I thought I was going to die. But anyway, but you have to really read the label, make sure you're doing enough units. But then also there's a whole lifestyle behind that. And we already have all of that. We have an education. We have doctors that are literally walking us through that. I mean, I don't know if you're mind blown like I am, but sometimes I get so overwhelmed of like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, I cannot wait to, like, Sarah's helping me personally, even with my social media, like really, like you're about to see a huge boom in my social media of my pillars, just like she made those videos of what your pillars are. So we even have social media training and pillars. One of the things I'll kind of close with this, and Sarah can close us out. LinkedIn, like we want to make posts for you and really post that business owner. And this is really the next play for us. The next strategy is all of you get so good on LinkedIn that when you post, business owners actually contact you. So you have your own Calendly link and everything, and you're posting this because we're going to help you with that. Again, that's all included within this conglomerate of VASE, but then you're going to have business owners contact you instead of you contacting business owners. So that's our next big move that we're going to help you, and even take that to an ad strategy, different ads and different things that we can do on LinkedIn so that you actually will get calls from business owners, and you can just have that 5-minute call and then you're booking calls. So instead of us always going to them, we're going to now have business owners come to us. So that's all in this kind of conglomerate, like I said, and what VASE is, what it stands for, what we're doing. And we're just getting warmed up. We've only been doing this for not very long, but it's really going to be something special. And you guys are the pioneers of it. And we just want you to get on top of all this, where all these people are going to be underneath you and they're winning and they're excited, and it's going to go faster and faster. A lot of you had to kind of be the pioneers, just like me and Sarah, meaning we've had to wait longer than a lot of people have. We've had to kind of, wait for different things to kind of happen, but we are there. And when I talk to you one-on-one and I tell you who the person is and what this thing is that's going on next month, I'm telling you, like, you're just going to go to the moon with that, because there's just no stopping us after this. Not endorsement. It's not like a letter. It's actual someone that's working for the T group. And if you have a 21,000 deal, let's say, and they're like, you know what, I'm afraid of the IRS. Oh, no problem. Oh, never mind, I'm in. That's exactly what's going to happen. And it already is happening. So anyway, I just want to pass it over to Sarah. She can close this out.
Okay, yeah, I just want to give like 4 little nuggets. Number 1, we took away the CRM from a few people who weren't using it. So use it. And then if you reach out to me and say, I promise you I'll use it, we'll reactivate you. But it's really, it's a big expense for us. And so we don't want to just be giving it away if you're not going to use it, but we do believe in it. So don't stop using it. Like, I hope you guys are using it and you find it powerful. So that's number 1. Number 2, like keep looking at the portals. We try so hard to keep it as updated as possible. Sometimes it takes us a week to get some things in there, just, with our busy schedules, but we do try to keep those updated. There's one for Ellie and one for VASE. Number 3, I am going to personally, when I get some time, it's on my to-do list, create 30 LinkedIn posts that you guys can just take and use, and I'll try to keep it updated. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a month of business LinkedIn posts. I just need a little time to do it. But like Todd said, it's going to come with things like instructions on how to make your own Calendly. So like they just click and book an appointment with you, right? Like, so you're just taking like a quick discovery call. And then lastly, I did a branding webinar training. There's 2 parts of it. One is like building your pillars and all of that for social media for Ellie. If you want to go all in on Ellie, if you guys watch that and message me, I'm going to send you part 2, which is how to use ChatGPT to build a 30-day social media plan and all of your pillars and branding, which is what I do. And you guys should watch my social media because it's getting really good after a couple weeks. And I'll just keep building on that, but you're not going to get access to the trainings on that unless you watch the one prior. So watch the first one, reach out to me, and I have a few of your names I need to send it to. I just have to edit it. So that's why I haven't sent it yet. And then I'll keep building on that. But I think that is going to be how you build with Ellie, is going to be your social media. So once you kind of get that built, it's not going to be like TE group where you're having to do 20 quality outreaches a day and a hook and like, it's just a different world. So those are the 4 things. and we're excited about it.
Yeah, the training was awesome. I actually went through her training 18 minutes myself, and then I kind of went back and forth with Sarah and identified my three things, my three pillars, and even changed my Instagram, like what I do to help people. So
Your bio.
that's where it starts. Like the profile on your Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, this is what you do. Your 2 to 3 pillars, and then that's how you're going to come up with specific content. Because if you don't know your pillars, how are you going to come up with content? And you're kind of just all over the place, and then that confuses your audience. So if you can really stream that down to 3 pillars that you're so passionate about, then you can really create better content that's very distinctive. Like people know, okay, I need to reach out to that person because that's that you versus you guy, or that's that health and wellness person. And that, hey, if I want to know more about GLP-1, I'm going to reach out to her. Or if I'm business to business, that's the person. So whatever that looks like is very, very important.
Yeah, and I'll just share tonight. I'm finishing up. It's called Beacons AI, but it's essentially like a link in bio where I'm putting like my, join my coaching community. I'm doing a couple freebies that I'm building in Canva on for the Ellie opportunity, like download my non-toxic guide, and it grabs their email, right? So I've just been like, now I'm gonna have like a little link in bio that has my things. So again, just kind of watch what I'm doing and I'll teach you guys, but I'm trying to go ahead of you so that you guys can, catch up and copy and follow.
Awesome.
Cool. All right,
Great
guys.
being with all of you today. Yeah, we'll get this uploaded as well over the weekend and put it in the portal. And just remember the portal. We have 2 portals. We have one for VASE. We have one for Ellie. And just make sure you have those saved to your phone so that you can. If you sign up a brand partner, that's one of the first things you give them. If you sign up someone for VASE, that's the first thing you want to give them, so they have access to everything from the past and present, and obviously in the near future.
Yep.
Amazing.
Cool.
You guys are amazing. Thank you, Taha and Sarah. It's crazy.
No problem.
That was
Yes,
fantastic.
thanks so much.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
All right.
Very
guys.
exciting.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
everybody.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Appreciate
You
y'all.
too. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.